Hey everyone, welcome to OGHQ Studio. In this video, we're gonna work on the two-post lift. Now, for years, I've been thinking about this. It seems like there's 50 different models, but I'm gonna take you through the discovery process here. I can tell you all I need to know about the Jumbo 9000, the Jumbo 7000, the Sprinter. We've sold hundreds of those. I've had them in different garages. We've installed them, we've troubleshot them, we've used them. But the Nussbaum two-post, I have a lot of discovery to do. So stay tuned. You're gonna wanna tune into this video if you're a car guy, because this is every car guy's dream, is to have a proper concrete pad and a proper two-post lift. All right, Mike, I didn't think I'd ever get to this point where I had the option.
I didn't think you'd ever buy a two-post.
Well, it's not that I don't like a two-post.
No, I know.
It's just that if I have to choose, I'm choosing, because I'm a detailer first, and then a modifier second.
Yeah.
And so if I'm detailing, I want a scissor lift, because I can get 360 degrees around the car.
Right.
I can do 90% of what I can do on a two-post.
Yep.
But if I have the option for both, I figure let's give it a shot. And so why not try, Nussbaum screw type.
Super quiet.
So it's screw, so there's no locks.
Right.
And
So
there's
you don't
no
hear that
air.
clacking. Yeah, no more clacking.
And so I'm really excited to see how this thing works out. So let's open this thing up.
I'm
going to have, I don't think I have all three arms in here. I'm pretty certain I don't. But we're going to have the three types of arms. The type of arm you put on it is what dictates the lifting capacity.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get this sucker open and see what we got. That's it. This is like a Christmas morning here. Yep. You got instructions. Did not read.
The German. There's not a whole lot to it. All right, so instead of this being a hydraulic machine like a typical, two-post used to be, they still make hydraulic, but this is a lead screw type. So there's a lead screw in there, as you can see right there. So the lead screw, I believe the lead screw turns, then the nut rides on the two-post. As the screw turns, the nut follows it up and down. And because the nut is captive in here and it can't fall, you don't need the latches that are on a hydraulic unit. So that means there's no air needed to release the latches to lower it. So the screw does everything. It locks it in place, it lifts it, it lowers it, and it's super, super quiet. So there's a motor for each one of these, independent. So there's not one hydraulic motor pressurizing the whole system. It's got its own independent motor on each side. All right, Matt, so I say we get this thing unboxed and start playing around getting installed.
You're speaking my language, Mike.
I knew I was.
I'm ready.
So I think what I'll do is I'll get a strap around it and choke it, and then I can lift it with that. I feel like once it's sitting on the deck, the base, we can walk it wherever we want to. Piece of cake, Mike. What? What we're doing. Erecting, Mike. I know you just wanted me to say that, so you knew exactly the construction term. I think that's it, yep. Okay, good? Okay, now we just have to set that nice and slow. There we go. Thank you, that's one. And then we'll just do this one. I might got about a 12-point turn action here, so we can do this here. But you could definitely do it with a bunch of people. It's all fine, Mike. That's probably far enough. Just let it, because it's gonna, there we go. Easy peasy. Let's tip it that way a little bit just so we can get the plastic out. All right, buddy, we're gonna go grab a nice potbelly sandwich. And then we'll be back, slide this in place, and start doing our thing. All right, Michael, so they're off the forklift, obviously. We kind of had them set up, but we had them clocked 90 degrees the wrong way when we were just positioning them. Now looking at the plan that comes with it, or the plan view. So what we did is I turned them 90 degrees, so now the long part of the plate is facing that way, this way, right, like it's supposed to. So now what we're gonna do is measure the distance off the wall and make sure they're both the same distance off the wall. 144 and 3/16. Okay, so now I come over here. Let's see what we are. 144 exactly. Okay, so that makes sense because see here, I'm out of parallel. So what I do is I put a string, you space it off, I space it off with a nut on both sides, and then what we want to do is measure the distance from the base to the string, which is 5/16 and 5/16. So this one's already parallel with the wall, if you will. There's our 5/16, but here we're fat 5/8. So we need to turn this way. And now once you get them in place, they are pretty easy to move. Okay, right about there, I would say. Now we're still 5/16, and now here we're 5/16. So that means they're on the same plane with each other. They're the same distance off the wall, because this one should now read about 144 and 3/16. We're 144 and 3/16. So that means we're equal distance off the wall, and they're in line with each other.
So you'd say overall this is actually
it's pretty easy.
To install than a scissor lift?
It's easier to install than a scissor lift, yeah. Because getting this, well, a surface mount scissor lift is pretty easy, but a recessed scissor lift like this is more difficult than installing this. Provided you already have a slab that's thick enough, this is easy to install. Yeah. Now the one thing we did, there's two versions of running the electrical. You can run it overhead, so that's one way, or you can, if you're doing this from the beginning where you're putting in your own foundation and all that, you would run conduit underground, so that way all the control wiring and power wiring is hidden and you don't have that piece going over top, which is the way we opted to do it. Since we were pouring this anyway, I put that conduit in the ground to run everything through. So all this control wiring and power wiring will go, there's some more of it rolled over there, that has to go through. We have 16 holes to drill for the plates. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So these are 5/8 by 8.5. So there's 8 per side. What I did was I measured my anchor length. I know how much I want embedded. So I put that tape there, so that way I know exactly how deep I am. I don't have to guess. So we're gonna go right to this side of the tape. All right, so what you want to do, get your nut threaded on first. So there's maybe 2 threads showing here in your washer. Drop that in. Yeah. That's it. So I'll go ahead and do another one, Mike, and then I'll get the other 14 in.
So you're not going to tighten these?
I'm not. So because the concrete's green, I don't really want to tighten them yet. I'll snug them up. In fact, just banging them in like this, it's going to hold them steady, but I'll probably snug them up just a bit, but I won't go full tight until the concrete's fully cured. All right, that's all there is to it, Michael. So I'm going to go ahead and get them all put in. I'll snug them up, and then we can start on the electrical.
This is pretty easy.
It is pretty easy, Mike. Yeah, if you think through it, you know, read the instructions or the plan, make sure you have them the right distance, and it's pretty straightforward from there. All right, Mike, so what we have up to this point is I've run my 10 gauge. This is good for 30 amps. That's all the way back to our main panel. So all we have left to do is install a service disconnect. This is a 30 amp rated 3-phase, because this is 3-phase power. So I've got my conduit that runs underground, goes up into this post, and then goes under again into that post. So I'm going to set the disconnect in place. These are our incoming line power, and then we'll fish through this into this first post with our 10 gauge wire that feeds from the disconnect to the unit. Okay, so I think what we'll do next is, why don't I run the fish in here, and we'll see it come up over here. I know I still have to drop my anchors in, but this conduit connects the 2 together. As I mentioned before, we're going to run power to here plus control between the 2. So the right side knows what the left side's doing. There we go. All right, so now we can pull our control and our power through. So in, back out, and then to that one, and then that same conduit will connect the 2 together so they can communicate. So that's next up. I'm gonna drive my anchors in now, Mike. Yep.
You're a really good installer, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. I'm a professional. This is yeah.
This is easy.
Yeah. So what we have here is we have this little 4-pin Molex. This is for the potentiometer, which tells the left side what the right side's doing and so forth. So that is coming from this post up to that post. Then we have, this is power. This will be incoming power. So this will just get fished down to here, and then we'll be hooking our incoming power to this. This other one is for motor control. So I'm gonna fish these two through the conduit with incoming power. This one will just stop here and mate to the incoming power coming from that disconnect. So I'm gonna get the fish run now and start pulling these through. All right, so went ahead and fished the wire down through here. That's a pain in the butt because there's not a whole lot of room. So we ended up shoving the fish up through. There's a little hole or a little space between the motor and that top plate. I was able to put the fish through. So I've got those 3 down. The power cable is gonna stay here. It's gonna connect in here. I'm gonna wire that connection together and put it in this hole. So that's what this is. So this won't go underground. What will go underground is this one, which is that 6-conductor Molex and the 3-phase power and ground. That'll go through. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna connect that to the wire fish and get that pulled through. All right, so we have power through. Now I'm gonna run the fish back through and pull that 6-conductor wire that connects to the Molex. I'll pull that through next. So this is the last cable. So I was managed to get the wires pulled up into this post. I've got that connected. So really all that's left, Mike Waba, is we need to get power hooked up here at the disconnect, and then I need to go back to our 3-phase panel and install our 3-phase breaker. And then we'll be able to turn it on and see what happens.
Like there's very
Some anticipation. It's
lens flare happening right now.
Oh, because the light? Or is it just me? That's pretty. Crowning ceremony? All right. Yep. All right. That looks good. So 4,000 kilograms, Mike.
Just so you know.
So it's about 8,800 pounds. Okay. Round number 9,000. So I think that'll just pick up my F350. I think that's about what it weighs.
How about your GT3RS Ultraviolet purple with GT silver?
Mike, it will pick that up. Unfortunately for you, since you only have a peasant model, it's not allowed in here. So you have to use the jack out in the parking lot. That was pretty mean. Right, Mike's all butthurt because he went to some show and he wanted to park on the top. They said, sorry, you can't go up there. It's only for GT cars.
Can you believe that?
Mike's all pissy.
Can you believe that?
Oh, poor Mike. Okay, Mike, so here's what we're doing. This is our outgoing, AKA our load side. So these are gonna go down here. Let me push off a little extra wire. Now, I'm a trained professional, so I don't have my strippers, so we're doing it that way. I've done this many times, so it's all by feel. Okay.
This is a big moment, Mike.
Yeah. It certainly is, Mike. So this is the line side. This is what's feeding from our mechanical room from our breaker. Well, what will be our breaker. I have it fed into the sub panel, but I haven't installed the breaker yet. So what we have coming out here is 208 3-phase. We have 480 3-phase in the building, but the new SPOMs are not 480 capable. They're either German version, which is 400 volts, or US, which is 240 or 208. The struggle's real, Mike. Yeah, I'm about ready to rip this door off. There it is. Okay. Can you edit out all this struggling?
This is a lot.
Come on, Mike. This is really a pain. Okay, now there's a little box of fuses. 20 amp, pop these in. So we're gonna get our ground hooked up. For that, we have a grounding lug.
This is a big moment, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we're going to go in the breaker room and take the panel apart and get our breaker in, and then we can put our arms on and we can try it out.
We're really dragging this on for the viewers. They really want to see this thing.
I know, hurry up already, Mike. So this is that sub panel I was telling you about. This is 208 by 120. So that means each from leg to leg, you got 208 volts. And then from leg to neutral, you're at 120. So there is 3-phase power. So we're gonna grab all 3 legs with this 3-phase breaker. So we're gonna stick ours right here. Now this is live, but I can do it live. You just have to be careful, Mike. That'll go like that. And then what we have to do is we have to screw them in. People aren't gonna be doing this at home, but we're doing it for whatever. Okay, so now we got square drive. So this will screw it into the bus. So, I mean, in theory, you're only talking about 120 volts, just like if you're working on a receptacle. Now, of course, a lot more amperage is flowing through this than your receptacle, but you know, we're done, it's in. So now we're gonna take our 3 hots and go into this side of the breaker, right there. All right, so there we go. And then these are all the other circuits that are running into the new garage. So this is all future stuff that we'll hook up. Pressure washers, vacuum, reels, compressor. It's a whole lot of stuff, Mike. Check this here, Mike. Okay, we're on. And we're probably gonna be a little over 208. Usually it is. So we go leg to leg here. Yeah, we're at 210.7, 210.6. Then we go here to here, 210.4. to 11.1. All right, so now we'll go to the disconnect that we just installed by there, and then it should read the same. 210.6 to 11.1 to 10.5. So we're basically exactly what we had in there. Pretty close. All right, Mike, so we're gonna stick the arms on. The long one goes here. So we're gonna do that now. And what you have to do is take this shaft out. So there's a snap ring. We've already got it partially out of the groove. There's the ring. And this shaft comes out, and then what we have to do is grease here and here. All right, don't have to get crazy with it, but we want to put a underneath it here. And put some on this. Mike? Forget it. Sometimes you have to get your hands a little dirty, Mike. All right, so that'll drop in from the top. So now, Trevor, you'll get that end of that arm. It's gonna drop in here, like that, and then we're gonna drop the shaft in. There it is. Now, snap the ring on the bottom. There's our snap ring back in. All right, so, okay, and then just so we know, I think we have it correct. These are the jack pads here. So these go in here, and then, oh yeah, and then they thread up and down. Nice. All right, so that's one. Okay, so we can kind of leave them like that. All right, want to do the front one, Trev? This isn't bad. No, it's pretty easy.
So once these are on, Mike, we can turn this thing on.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Okay. Short arm's pretty light in comparison to the longer one. Right about there. Okay. Let's do the other side. All right. So this time I was a little smarter. Rather than greasing the whole shaft, I greased inside the plate, the hole that the shaft goes through. So that way I don't have to wipe it off the rest of the shaft. Sometimes it's better to lubricate the hole than the whole shaft. In other words, it makes less of a mess. This goes on. All right, Mike, so obviously consult your user manual, but if you end up with one of these at your home or off work or whatever, you're gonna wanna keep these greased, obviously, but there's another more important component, which is the lead screw that's inside here. So you do not wanna put heavy grease on this. You wanna use light machine oil on these. So I talked to Byron about that. He said they've had people put grease on there, and all it does, it gums up the works. So you just want to use a light machine oil, like a machine oil 150 or something like that. I'm sure the manual specifies it, but people think often that you just want to put a bunch of grease on this lead screw, and you do not. So other than that, I don't think there is any other maintenance. Say it's good to go. We just need to try it. So fingers crossed. Wow, it's quiet. What do you think? Should we bring it all the way up and just leave it up there? So it's out of the way, so we don't, because we got to do Swiss tracks next. Yeah, very quiet. It's gonna be, and then so to get it to go higher, I bet you turn this, oh no, that's all maxed out. That's as high as it goes. So you figure a car will be up here, because these adjust. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. So in theory, when it comes all the way down, it pushes these up, which means you can rotate these when it's all the way down. Otherwise they auto lock like that. We greased these, Mike.
We did grease.
Yes, you were a stickler on that. So this is a 3-phase machine. This is for like commercial applications, somewhere that has 3-phase power. Now, supposedly, I talked to Byron, first part of 2026, there's gonna be a single-phase version available for those of us that have a house and wanna have, so you have a house with a, like Fred's garage, for instance. Yeah. He had a big, tall garage that he could have used one of these. So if it was a single-phase version available, which there will be, you could buy one of these and put it at your residential.
So this will be a viable
just like this, yeah, it'll be a viable solution, for sure. It'll be a viable solution for your house.
We're trying to figure out.
Right, right. Yeah, I think we've sold a couple, but they've been to places that have 3-phase. So, but there'll be single phase available. So you'll have your 240 single phase and you'll be able to run it at home. Are we talking overall impressions right now?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's super quiet, super smooth. You don't have that clacking sound that a hydraulic unit makes when the safety latches kick in. So I like it. I wish I had one, but I don't have room for one in my garage. I think the install was pretty straightforward. What would I change? I would probably have run a larger conduit underground. Instead of the 3/4, I'd probably run 1.5 inches.
Right, just because of the wire.
Yeah, just it gives you more room. If you have the chance, do everything underground ahead of time, so that way you don't have this crossbar. It's just clean, it looks great. And all you have on the wall is a disconnect to isolate power, and that's it. Comment if you like it. What do you think about it? You've probably seen bend packs and other lifts, even noose bombs that have the clackety noise, and it's a hydraulic motor with a pump on the side. What do you think about this as compared to those lifts? This is, I don't know if this is more or less, I have no idea what the cost is on this, but just if money no object, what do you think? Right now, after we're done with this, we're gonna finish cleaning the floor and we're gonna put Swiss tracks in, Mike. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna transform in the next couple weeks. Yeah. The one last thing I will mention, we haven't torqued the bolts yet. So these bolts are sticking out real high right now. Yeah, they were concerned. So you can see they're all uniform and they're in as far as they can be driven in. But what we're gonna do is torque them when the concrete's fully cured, and then we'll trim off the tops of those bolts flush with the nut. So that way there's not a tripping hazard. Yeah, you were concerned mainly, Mike, because you seem to trip on everything with your boots. You stepped in the wet concrete. We didn't catch that on...
No, we did.
Oh, you did?
It was rolling.
Oh, okay, good. So there's the camera suddenly dips and you're full of mud. Yeah. All right, so that's it. 2-post noose bomb is installed.